There are many games on the PlayStation Vita that a lot of people question whether they should get the game or not, us included. A lot of these games fall into the category of the games that have a lot of lewd content. Lewd is another term for sexual content or sexual fan service. An example of this would be the Sexy Time minigame from Valhalla Knights 3. Another good example is Monster Monpiece, a game we reviewed last year. This offered a very lewd way of powering up your skills and cards by rubbing monster girls to declothe them partially and increase their power. Behind that, though, was a very engaging card game that was a lot of fun. Another such example is the game we are reviewing today, Akiba's Trip. Releasing on the PS4, PS3, and PS Vita, a lot of the community interpret this as a very perverted game where you rip people's clothes off for the perverted sense of it. After Amazon had dropped its price on it, we decided to finally jump on the game. I now present to you our video review of Akiba's Trip Undead and Undressed. The story of Akiba's Trip takes place in Akiba, the shopping district of Akihabara. The main character awakens in a facility that is creating genetically modified humans as man-made vampires known as synthesters. Having escaped the facility within an inch of his life with a female intruder that helped him escape, shares her blood with him, that restores his health and gives him superhuman abilities even higher than that of the synthester he had been engineered into. The two then return to the Akiba Freedom Fighters headquarters where the main character had been living and spending much of his time. With the Akiba Freedom Fighters at his side, protecting the streets of Akiba, they set out to stop the synthesters from attacking innocent people and stealing their life force. They do this in the only way they possibly can, by ripping off most of their clothes and exposing their skin to sunlight to strip them of their powers. The story of Akiba's Trip is definitely geared towards the anime and otaku fan. Almost every anime or otaku cliche you could possibly think of is in this game. There are also a lot of references to other PS Vita and anime media in general. As you go through the game, there will be lots of billboards, TV screens, and more, showcasing things like the Hyperdimension Neptunia anime, or Vita games like Conception 2, Mind Zero, or even Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. Akiba's Trip is a mix-up of two different genres. Some people say it's a beat-em-up fighting game, some of them say that it's an action RPG. In a way, it's both. There are a lot of elements from both genres, from the beat-em-up combat style to the RPG elements like leveling up and equipment synthesis. Each time you find an objective in the game, you will have a specific location in Akiba to go to advance the story, whether it's by yourself or with a specific person. There's also a lot of freedom in the game. You don't have to go to the objective. You can spend your time exploring new areas of Akiba, fighting off random enemies, shopping for new items or weapons, or doing side quests for the various NPCs of the game. There is a lot you can do, and the game never forces you to only do story unless you save after a story sequence has started. There are a lot of endings to the game once you play through the entire game. There are actually 9 different endings for you to achieve, 8 of which are normal and true paths for 4 of the main characters of the game, whereas the 9th ending is for your sister character for doing all the side quests for her. Achieving the non-sister character endings depends on how high your affection level is with certain characters. You increase your affection level by choosing certain options in dialogue sequences. There are many cutscenes where you have a few options of what to say, some favoring other characters over the other ones. Increasing the affection level is key to getting the true ending, as even if you have a high affection level for a character, you'll still get the normal ending if it's not up high enough to get the true ending. The one thing you will be spending the most time with in the game is actual combat. When you engage an enemy, whether you're by yourself or with an AI partner, you will be attacking 3 parts of their body. There is equipment for heads, chests, and legs. The goal is to deal enough damage to each part that you can reach and grab the part and rip it off of them to expose their skin to sunlight and strip them of their synthester powers. Once you rip a clothing item off, you will gain experience for it as you have technically defeated that part that can lead up to a level up where your attack and defense will be increased. The combat goes both ways though, as the enemy can also do this to you. The way to avoid this is to make sure you are always beating down the enemy as quick as possible, and keeping your health as high as possible. You cannot increase your health by using potions, but you can move away from the enemy and straighten out your clothing to restore that HP. They can do the same thing, so it's always a big thing to constantly beat down on the enemy so they don't get a chance to do this. A big unique part of Akiba's trip is the sheer number of different weapons and equipment you can get to upgrade and synthesize as you fight through the game. When you fight enemies and defeat them, you can take their weapons. The weapons are unique as they are everyday items that you use every day, but you wouldn't necessarily always use them as weapons. You can find weapons from aluminum and metal bats, to computer monitors, to laptops, to street signs. Anything you can think of that you can pick up off the street, you can probably use as a weapon and find. All in all, the game sports about 9 hours on the casual difficulty if you do not go out of the way to do all of the side quests available to you. This also opens up New Game Plus, which offers a lot of new options. When you make your first game, you are very strictly limited on the avatar and character you can make, but once you get an ending and go to New Game Plus, you can use avatars from pretty much every enemy in the game or specific characters if you unlock their ending. The presentation of the game is the game's greatest flaw and also greatest asset. First of all, the visuals and cel-shaded style of the game makes the game look like a PS3 or PS4 game. Even if you have the game plugged into a PlayStation TV, it will be hard to tell that you're actually playing the PS Vita version. When we popped it into the PlayStation TV, we thought we were playing the console version of the game. The two major flaws of the presentation are the load times and the camera. First of all, there are a lot of very long load times that you have to deal with when you go from area to area. This can range from 8 to 15 seconds, sometimes even longer than that. If you are not a patient person, the load times will definitely frustrate you. The frustrating part of the camera is the fact that it gets stuck on walls and other objects very easily, making it so you cannot see what's going on the screen. There were many cases, especially in boss battles, where the camera would get stuck and I could not see the enemies or my own characters to see what was going on. This can easily be recentered with one of the buttons, but it is very frustrating because it happens very often. Akiba's Trip came to the West in a localization that no one thought would ever happen on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita. On the downside, there are long load times in the game, and the camera controls are very frustrating. Past this, however, is a fast-paced action game that any RPG, action game, or anime fan can get into and enjoy. PlayStation Vita Reviews rates Akiba's Trip, Undead and Undressed an 8 out of 10.